Big man thing. I'm with the legend right now, Eddie Hearn, bruv. You get me? He owes me money though.
Big man thing.
See that right there, bruv? I'm telling you. I gotta ask you the first thing I'm saying. You see, last time I had the vest on, yeah?
Yeah, but listen, last time I didn't have a clue who you were.
Bruv.
I've done the interview with you.
You're taking a piss
Who's this geezer?
now. Come on, bruv.
And everyone's going, are you joking? He's massive. And now you're so massive. I like it.
Big man thing, yeah? You're trying to make money off me, Eddie.
Cool,
I can
that's all
feel
I'm
it.
interested
Come on, bruv. Let's do this. Now, I gotta ask you this, though. Last time you saw me in the vest, you
Yeah.
get me? I was looking sexy. Had the nipples out and that. You get me?
This is much
So I got
better.
money now. How's the drip looking?
It's much better. Much better.
Give me a rating out of 10, though.
I think you're a solid 8.
Big man thing. I'm looking beautiful right now. So I got to get straight into it, yeah? Straight into the thing, yeah?
yeah.
You know, last time I got to apologise. I didn't know your mum's name was Susan.
Couldn't believe it.
That was just a freestyle.
mad, wasn't it?
That's a
I thought
freestyle.
you'd done your research.
No,
I was
no,
about
no,
to nut you. Seriously, I
you
heard
know
it. I was like, is he taking the piss?
Do you know what? I'm not going to lie, yeah? And I saw some sparring footage of you. Now I'm a bit afraid now. I'm not gonna lie. You're serious.
I'm soft as shit. Don't worry about it.
Still, we need to see you versus Jake Paul.
Not a problem. 10 mil, done.
Big man thing, 10 mil. So I'm going to go straight into it, yeah? So this weekend, we've got a big one, yeah? Big one. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. I got to ask you this. Should Conor Benn win this fight, how big of a star does he become?
Massive. I mean, look, he's stepping up 10 pounds. He's going from welterweight to virtually middleweight. It's a great fight. You know, the two mix so well together. They're just like the dads. You know, Conor's like this ferocious young lion who just wants to tear everyone's head off. And Eubank's just sort of posturing around, you know, winding him up, trolling him a little bit. And I just think it's a great mix. We're seeing the numbers are huge. Like the names who want to come to the event, it's what happens. Do you know what I mean? All of a sudden, everyone wants the freebies.
Come on, bro.
You'll be there. And you know, but it's just a fight that's capturing imagination. I think Conor can be a huge star. He's got a big ass. Eubank thinks he's a stroll in the park.
That's kind of what it's looking like. I'm seeing him in Nando's, KFC. I saw him in Peckham, in Morley.
Yeah.
Do you think, is that all for clout, or do you think he's serious?
I don't believe he's in there eating a 3-course meal, but I do think that he's got to make the weight first. Maybe he just turns up and pays the dough and comes in at 158.5. I don't think so. I think he's a pro. I think he'll come in on a number.
Now, this morning I saw on Twitter, Chris Eubank said that he wasn't happy because of the weight cut. So, yeah, so what's your thoughts on that?
I think that Senior's very stubborn. Once he has something in his mind, he'll run with it. People don't realise there was no one more vicious in terms of making weight than Senior. You know when they had the first fight night, back in the day, the weigh-in was on the day of the fight.
Legendary.
Right? He lost so much weight on the day of that fight, Eubank Senior, and went in and had one of the most brutal fights with Nigel Benn.
One of the greatest fights of all time.
Now, the board have fantastic regulations in place. They weigh in 36 hours before the fight. Look, his son's got to come down 3 pounds. Conor Benn's got to come up 10 pounds. People will say, yeah, it's easier to come up. It will be. But he's going to be fighting a much bigger man in the ring. That's dangerous. It's all dangerous. It's the danger game. And we love the sport, and we'll make sure that everybody's protected.
Now, I've got to ask you this as well. You know, I'm going to ask. Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua negotiations right now. What's happening? I went on Twitter. It looked like Fury's trying to fight Davide from Love Island. I don't know who that guy is, bruv. I'm just saying, shout out to him anyway. But what's going on with that?
I think, look, we keep getting these deadlines, and sooner or later AJ's going to turn around and go, like, fuck off. And we had a deadline on Monday. We sent back our final version of the contract. They then came back on Thursday and said, this is the final deadline. We were nowhere ready to sign a contract. That passed. As far as we're concerned, fight's over. If they want to carry on the chat, we're willing to do that as well. But, like, at what point he says the fight's off, then he calls out Manuel Charr. Now he's offered Derek Chisora a fight. He's got the contract. So, to me, it feels like a game.
Very confusing.
To the public, I understand you want to put the blame on someone. Who gets the blame? Normally me. Not a problem. It is what it is. But I know what I've been instructed to do by AJ, which is make the fight. So that's what we're trying to do.
And I got to ask you this, though. Speaking of AJ, could you give us an update about him? Because after the Usyk fight, me, for example, I really kind of like seeing that side of him, especially in the press conference. I feel like it was really nice to see him in an emotional side and really express how he was feeling and all the pressure on his mind. So could you give us an update on how he is, aside from boxing, just how he is?
He's great. He's back in the gym. But also it's like, you got to understand that he's a normal kid, right? What's happening, mate? You good?
Big man thing. Trying to get that jacket, bruv. I need that.
Ronnie, how are you, mate?
Yeah.
Good. You all right? So, he's a normal kid. And when you put someone in this microscope, this bubble, where your whole life, like you just walk down here, yeah? Flashing lights, people wanting photos.
Big gal. We got to say the big gal.
You get it all the time.
Big man thing.
Right? So, but I think, personally, that ain't a great way to live your life. You know what the guy's like. What does he like doing? Going out with his mates, playing a bit of FIFA, going over the park, going on the bikes. playing a bit of football. He can't do none of that. So what he does is he spends his whole life under a microscope trying to win. Train. Back to the flat in Loughborough. Train. Back to the flat in Loughborough. Driving around with a few pals in a Range Rover. Keeping a low profile. Getting shouted at by people on the street. Sometimes positive, sometimes negative.
And he will bust you up if you do that, bruv. He will bang you up, bruv. So don't try that.
Where's your chance to chill? Just chill out and go like...
And be human.
Yeah. And I feel like over the years, he's given all his time to people. He's always wanted to be that ambassador, that role model. And after a while, that just to me felt like a tin can that needed to have the top taken off. And when it did, it was a release. And I liked it.
I'm not gonna. I loved it. I loved it.
The last person you'd ever expect to see crying.
I'm not gonna lie. It kind of it reminded me of the WWE. It was amazing. That was one of the greatest bits in boxing ever.
Going, good. Keep crying. This is great.
We love that. And finally, predictions for this Saturday. What am I betting on this weekend? So I need to make some money that I lost, bruv, that you're not gonna give me back. Like, what's the prediction? What am I betting on this Saturday?
So I was going for a Conor-Benn late stoppage or Conor-Benn on points, but I'm going to go Conor-Benn on points in a thriller.
Big man thing, Conor-Benn on points in a thriller. Thank you so much, Eddie Hearn. Love it, man. Thank you, bruv. Hey. Don't know. Big man thing, the legend right now, bruv, Eddie Hearn. See that, bruv? I'm just out here, bruv, chatting to proper people and that, bruv. Eddie Hearn, you man are right now just watching me hating, bruv. I feel the hate. I feel it, bruv. I'm not going to lie. Big man thing, ID boxing, bruv. Don't know.